Boston on my address, but I'm very much close to Bronson. So I was aware of your meeting this morning, and as a concerned citizen, I just am here to ask some questions about some of the legislation coming from Tallahassee and how it is that you all think that it's going to directly impact the way that our county is able to function and continue to fund education, educational programs. So I am concerned. There's a lot of money that it seems is going to be removed from our public educational system and pushed into private education, homeschooling. I'm sure I'm not the first to bring this to your attention. I'm sure you all have pondered it, but I'm not really hearing much about what it is that Levy County is doing to address this, if anything. And my second comment is going to be, as a concerned citizen, I'm happy to assist in the direction that we can move through Levy County to make sure that we have some really great educational programs. There's so many things that stem from a solid and strong educational system. We know one of the first things that as our young families are picking their place where they want to live, the first thing they look at is the educational opportunities. And it's my understanding that in Levy County, so many people are currently employed by the public education system. So one of my first concerns is the children, of course, their level of learning and how that's going to be impacted. Secondarily to that, how many of our families is this impacting at the employment level? Okay. Third, and probably the furthest vision of that is, I come from bigger cities. I think most of y'all kind of have an idea of who I am. But from the tax base, a lot of people, they go by, what grade is your school, so that people actually make those decisions on whether or not to move here. It also kind of attacks our property values if our educational system continues to go down and getting some head nods. So this is really, to me, this is kind of an egregious attack. It's a power grab. I believe that the best government is the one closest to the people. And if we cannot come to our school boards, we cannot come to our municipal and our townships and to our Board of County Commissioners and work out some resolutions and then work together, right? I'm here also today, not just to say, what are y'all doing about it, but to say, what can I help you do about it? Okay, I'm a solutions-based person. I like to organize and get stuff accomplished. So I'm here today to say, what are you doing and what can I do to help? Okay, now I'm going to sit down and shut up. Does anybody have any questions of me before I sit down and be quiet? And I'd love to hear y'all kind of, talk out loud, so to speak, if you can, on some of those issues that I have raised.
Mr. Carroll, would you like to comment?
Sure, I can comment. So the first thing I'll share is 2 weeks ago, our board members were in Tallahassee. And maybe you may not see social media posts or things, but there's meetings that are being happened that we have the opportunity to share how legislation and have shared with our representatives and our senators on proposed legislation that's been already voted on and passed and is awaiting the governor's signature, but also to share about what the first initial budget runs that came out last Thursday look like. So, as a matter of fact, our board members are going to get a copy of the House and the Senate's budgets side by side. But we are very active, so we do engage a lobbyist in Tallahassee and have been very successful with that. So Levy County has been successful in building 2 special facility projects in the last 8 years because of those efforts of board members that sit here, board members that have moved on, but also superintendents that have sat in the seat before me, and along with the cooperation. So there's no doubt that there is concern about where we are headed, and I would just like to rest assured and make sure people know that just because we're not out there publicly that we're having conversations, that there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, and having the ability for people to take meetings and being willing to sit down and listen. So, and I'll share some working on it vigilantly. So since we were up there, to come back up.
Okay. Thank you very much.
What do you think the logic behind that is?
Which part?
Warp speed. Is it conveniently we're in sessions that we can't meet with these people that have? Okay, it's not good as a person that's going to have to go to Tallahassee with you, and I have made no bones about it. I can't sit there and look in the eyes of a person representing me and say, you're doing a great job, and I don't think you're doing a great job. I look at this. We're still going to have to meet that minimum requirement, but you took the funding. I have problems with the mandates. And I'll sit here and say this before God and everybody. I'm a Republican, but as a school board member, I'm nonpartisan. Nothing makes me angrier than to see a person who represents our area follow strictly party lines instead of doing what I swore I would do, and that is the best for my people. I'm glad Ms. Peters came today. I'm glad. I'm not going to blow smoke up you, man. I have sworn I've been here 14 years, good 10. There is a war against our public education system, a flat-out war, and we're fighting it every day. The best thing we can do, have folks like you show up in Tallahassee and tell them you're tired of it. And when you see these guys that don't vote the way we want you to, you voting on that party line because we got to move up, we got to get our power. Remember that. And I don't have a problem saying that, so that's why y'all may not want me going. I'm not going to hug your neck. I'm not going to pose in your picture after you talk to me and grace me with your presence for 5 minutes. When I sent you to do a job, and you're not doing the job I sent you to do. You're cutting funding. You're mandating things and cutting funding. Look on here. Mental health assistance allocation. We retained the underlying funding policies, but we're going to repeal those FEP calculations. We retained the requirement 47.5. We're not going to give you money to do that. We don't have Disney World in the backyard. We got watermelons. What are we going to do?